to count down early, right?
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you.
What's up, everybody? I'm Fu.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm Main One, and we're Unplugged, Free Your Mind, a show where we discuss and share our perspectives on an array of topics and world news from an unfiltered, unbiased, and unplugged point of view. What is happening?
What's going on, peeps?
What's going on, crew?
Not much. How was your weekends?
It was good. It was good. As folks, as y'all come in, please start doing roll call. So you come in, let us know where y'all coming from, where y'all dialing in from, where you tuning in from, so we can shout y'all out. Fool, what's happening?
I can't really turn my head.
Yeah.
And you know what happens next, right? A headache.
Nah. I ain't getting a headache. I'm good. That don't have.
Always get a headache.
Thankfully, I don't have to worry about that. It's just my head and my neck got to get used to this tightness with these braids. Yeah. Them goddamn Africans, like I was showing, man, they fingers, motherfuckers be moving.
Oh yeah,
real.
Yeah, I go to a place in Harlem and they are no joke. I have to tell the same person that the young lady that does my hair, shout out to Venta, but I have to tell her every time, please go light in the front and in the back. Go light.
Hey, I can feel y'all pain because that's why I'm bald right now. Because when I had my braids, they too tight, made me go bald.
Wow.
Real talk. But yeah, so
what y'all do this weekend? What happened? What's going on?
This weekend. What happened this weekend?
You didn't have a tournament?
No, we don't have tournaments. We just have one game with this fall season. So it's one game on the weekend. So we had one game on the weekend. We won. I mean, it ain't really much of a tournament. I mean, we're out talenting, the people we're playing. So it's just basically just trying to get the boys some runs, to keep them, keep them sharp a little bit. So yeah, but other than that, just chilled out, checked on some news, I got to keep up with my news and my politics and shit, even though everybody know how I feel, but I keep up with it. So I can bang on y'all about the shit.
Yeah.
What about you?
Me, I did a birthday party in Massachusetts. First time I've ever been to the state. Springfield. Shout out to Donnie. It was his birthday weekend. He's a motivational speaker and he's well known in the Springfield area. And he had his birthday party at a supper club, Intervisions. And I had a good time. I was this weekend I was a one-person show, and I was accompanied by the Greg Glover Band. Shout out to Greg and his exceptional band, including Dave Davis on sax. They were and Mr. Pat. I got to mention Mr. Pat. It was nice, man. Those people, they had a good time. They bought tickets in advance. It was more like a family thing than anything else, because Donnie himself used his mom's recipe for the collard greens. So good. They had smoked chicken. They had ribs. It was just incredible.
Yo, tell everybody, if they new to the channel, they don't know what you do. So your birthday, they don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, right? So if you are new to Unplugged for Your Mind, I am Jay. On stage, I am Lady J. I'm an entertainer. I sing, and it's my kind of side work. I've been singing ever since I was 6 years old, and when I moved to New York, it just seemed appropriate, to keep it going. And so, yeah, I do different shows now. I used to have one show that I did on the weekends at BB King's in Times Square. And if you don't know, they ended up closing the club in Times Square and they moved us to the Blue Note. So yeah, professionally, I am a vocalist. I love entertaining. I love putting a smile on people's face. My band is Decade of Soul. Shout out to Decade of Soul. And after the, of course, when the pandemic hit, that was pretty much it. So now, with just like most, vocalists and bands, I'm trying to revive. So I'm doing, different parties and weddings and, shows all over Jersey and New York and now Massachusetts. So again, thank you, Donnie, for inviting me out with the band with Greg Glover's band. I appreciate that.
That's
So
what's
yeah,
up. That's
that
what's
was
up.
that was actually my Friday. I decided to stay in Springfield, and do like a little tour of the area. Beautiful place, beautiful historic buildings. Then I found out I was only 30 minutes out from Boston. So I said, you know what? Next time that I'm out there, which will probably be soon, hint, hint, I think I'm going to drive up to Boston and check it out. I've never been.
Catch you a game. Well, hey, look, she got her tags down there. Y'all follow her. Y'all, if y'all want to book her, y'all can book her through there. Y'all want her to come sing at a wedding or something like that. Y'all do that. Buddha checking in from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Appreciate you.
What's up, Buddha?
Jay, you might want to check the comments.
Do you have a? Yeah. So, fool, what's up with you? What you getting into this weekend?
Yeah, my shit is pretty much the same. Nothing major. Just getting ready to bounce. Like time to go ahead and head back, and things are going to be different when I go back. So Instacart will be no more. It's not going to happen. I'm not really going to go into exactly what I'm going to be doing, but at least I'm going to have the freedom that I love. That right there will not change, which is going to be amazing. And it's just about getting my golf game together. It's going to be golf, get money, and love and life. Literally. Okay. Love and life, and the love of my life. I put it like that. That's the best way to put it.
Gotcha. That's what's up. Well, shoot, man. Look, let's go ahead and get into this shit. Let's go ahead and talk. We try to be diverse with our topics. I got a couple of topics that I want to get our perspective on, but of course, the hot topics, we're going to touch on those, of course. And I know a lot of people get tired of hearing about it, but guess what? Until it go away, we gonna talk about it. We got to talk about it because we got to give our perspective on it. Because you may not get this perspective from certain outlets, so you'll get our perspective from it. So I'm gonna cue something up real quick.
And while he's queuing it up, remember everybody, if anybody needs a documentation, I got you. Oh man, here we go. We go. Luau Sender.
So let's kind of unpack this a little bit. So of course everybody know what's going on with the C-19, with the deadly virus that's going on around here, and all these places. You got the mandate coming down from y'all president, mandating this stuff, and the NBA, which I found it ironic that earlier in the beginning, like in August, they weren't really talking about the mandates or whatever. August, July, they weren't talking about mandate. The NFL, they came out with their mandates and stuff, and you would have thought the NBA would have kind of fell in line, rolling theirs out. But they waited because they couldn't roll it out until they found out if LeBron James had his craccination. So I think once they found out he got his craccination, they said, "Oh, all right, we can roll these mandates out," because we know if you follow sports, especially in the NBA, LeBron James kind of pushes, the direction of where the NBA goes as far as, what he does, that kind of sets the tone for the league. So they came out with their mandates, and well, it's really not a mandate. They're not mandating their players to get the craccination, but they're, saying you got to get tested and all this kind of stuff. But here's the caveat now. So in certain states, you're mandated to have it if you're going to a venue for entertainment and stuff like that. So in New York, I think California right now, you're mandated to have it if you're going into a place of entertainment, stadium, or something like that.
Yes.
So Kareem Abdul, so it's now the NBA is 90% crackinated. So 90% of the players are cracks. So that leaves roughly around 40 to 45 players that are not. And you have some high profile players that have come out and said, "Hey, look, I'm not with the mandate. Nobody telling me what to do with my body." Kyrie Irving is probably the biggest star who has came out and said he's not doing it. Bradley Beal, Isaac, Jonathan Isaac from the Orlando Magic. He's an ordained minister. He said he's not doing it. And
Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins from the Golden State Warriors. So this is what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has said. He did an interview in a Rolling Stone magazine. And pretty much he says there's no room for players who are willing to risk the health and lives of their teammates, the staff, and the fans simply because they are unable to grasp the seriousness of the situation or do the necessary research, the NBA Hall of Famer added. What do you think about that, fool?
Well, based on what he said, I will no longer call him Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. His name will revert back to Lou Alcindor. Because if you are in the nation, excuse me, I apologize. He's a Muslim. He's not in the nation. We know that. We all know that. Well, most of us know there's a difference. If you're in the nation of Islam, that's pretty much people following Farrakhan. What kills me is that you have somebody like that, and we all know that Lou Alcindor actually has a level of intelligence. And what makes it even crazier is that man he's been wanting to coach in the NBA for years. Probably the most accomplished basketball player to ever live. 9 times out of 10, most accomplished. And this man has never gotten a coaching job. So now he's advocating for this league that has shown they don't give a fuck about him, which honestly and truly is crazy. And what's also funny about what you mentioning is, how are they going to do this? Because I don't know if you got it, but I got a story that said the NBA is pretty much, if you don't play, you're not going to get paid or something like that. If you don't, so here's the thing about that. That was not in the collective bargaining agreement. They can't do that. The NBA players have a union. And if I'm not mistaken, Kyrie Irving is on the players union. That's the thing that's also funny. People don't know that. Chris Paul is the president. Kyrie Irving has a top spot right below Chris Paul. Now Chris Paul got the shot. This is going to be interesting, and I can't wait to see the end results of what's going to happen.
Yeah, man, I'm it's my whole stance on it is, and Kareem actually, he said something that, and this article is not telling what it is. I couldn't find the Rolling Stone article, but he actually said people who saying that they're waiting to do the research aren't really doing any research. Now, how does he come up with that? See, that's the agenda. To me, that's the agenda being pushed. Because how can you say, so you're saying that the players are not intelligent enough to go out and do their own independent research, talk to their doctors and all kind of stuff outside of the NBA? Is that what he's saying? That's kind of what I gathered from the conversation, well, from what he said in the article. And so, I mean, this is a big deal for the NBA, and it goes to the video that me and you did earlier today. So I don't know if a lot of people out there play sports or not, but I know when I played sports, it was always a brotherhood. Like my teammates, I treated them like my brother, and I think the NBA, these guys kind of feel the same way. It's a brotherhood. Football is a brotherhood. Now, wouldn't it be something that would unify and be a united front if so Kyrie can't play in Brooklyn, he can't play in New York on his home games. Andrew Wiggins can't play in California his home game. Wouldn't it be big if LeBron James came out and said, "Yo, I'm standing with my brothers. If y'all don't let them play, I'm not playing." Mm-hmm. If KD came out and said, "If y'all don't let them play, I'm not playing." If Steph Curry came out and said, "If y'all don't let them play, I'm not playing," what would they do? See, now these players have to understand that they have the leverage.
Yep.
They have the leverage. Because if they decide to walk away from this game, and because they've made millions of dollars, so if they decide, hey, I'm not playing and I'm going to walk away, what would the NBA? It would cripple the NBA. So at some point, you have to use your leverage when you come up with situations like that. If you have leverage, use it. And but these guys, they're so used.
I was gonna say that this may not be a situation where everybody is on board. Some players actually feel the way they feel, saying, if I'm going to be on the court playing with you, you should be vaccinated. In other words, a lot of them believe in it. So I mean, I see it to me, it would be a disparage there. Like there is no, everybody is on this. You have some of the players that's all for it.
I mean, I haven't heard anybody saying that they're all for it. I just think they just fell in line. I haven't heard.
When I say for it, I mean they want to be vaccinated.
Right,
and
but
they want other people to be vaccinated.
Right, but my point to you is I haven't heard anybody. Like I said, when all this, like last year, I don't know if y'all remember last year when Black Lives Matter and all that stuff was happening. George Floyd, you heard all the players speaking out, rah rah, Black Lives Matter, this that, taking knees and everything. Right, we heard all their voices. We're more than basketball players. We got a voice. But as soon as this happens, now everybody's voice shuts up. Everybody's voice is quiet now. I just find that hard to believe that everybody's voice is quiet now when you're talking about infringing on people's civil liberties of doing things what they want to do with their body. Now you're quiet.
What you've brought up, and I hate to say this, but I got to be real with this. This is the truest form of shut up and dribble, or shut up and run that football. Shut up and throw that football. Any other time, it's all good because it can be symbolic. But this time, no. Because even when that happened, when the Milwaukee Bucks said we're not going to play, that shit lasted, a day? And look at the panic because they know what can happen. If Giannis were to say, I'm not playing, we know Steph ain't going to do it. So I want to personally salute all the players that you mentioned, and I'm proud of them for standing up for what they believe in. And I want to give 2 of these to Stephen A. Smith.
And
what did Stephen A. Smith do? What did he say? What did he do? He agrees that everyone should be a mandate.
He's to the point where he's saying that players shouldn't get paid or they should release them from the team and all of that shit. When he's the same person that say, I never advocate for anybody to lose their job. The fuck out of here. He's a clown.
But also he's kowtowing to the system, saying, oh well, now all of a sudden everybody want to do their research. You've been putting this and that in your body for so long. So you selling again, like I said, are you telling me that these NBA, like Fu said, are you telling me to shut up and dribble? Because basically you're telling me I ain't intelligent enough to evolve my thinking and say, hey, I know I was putting that shit in my body before, but now I want to start doing some research. That's called evolution. If you're not evolving, you're not growing as a person. So if I'm not man enough and have the cojones enough to say, hey, let me do my own research on this before I decide what to put in my body, my 20-something-year-old body who's in the tip-top condition, in the best shape of my life. Let me decide what I want to put in my body. But you go on TV, and it's not just Stephen A. Smith, it's Kendrick Perkins, it's everybody at ESPN, except for, here's another story that I found. This is correlated because this anchor, Sage Steele, she came out and she said, I got it, but she didn't want to get it. She got it because she said the tactics were so sick and scary how she described it. And
yes.
And she said she pretty much got it, to keep her job. So Sage Steele, she makes about $450,000 a year. So for her, she like, man, I don't know. But, in this day and age, I keep telling people, with the young kids, you got YouTubers out here making tons of money.
Yep.
On YouTube. Hell, you got OnlyFans chicks out here on OnlyFans living in houses that only doctors and stuff can afford and entertainers can afford. So you telling me Sage Steele, who's been in a journalist and an anchor and has a name for herself, you telling me you can't go make your own lane if you didn't want to get the jab? You could have made your own lane. You could have said, bump that. I'm gonna go start my own channel and do my news coverage and stuff like that and get that and start getting that monetized. But she weighed her options. She said 450,000, get the shot. I don't want the shot, but shit, I don't want to miss that 450,000. Shit, go ahead and stick me in. And now, but so to me, this is just disingenuous because you can't come out and say you shouldn't even come out and say this shit now because it means absolutely nothing because you didn't take a stand. But that's my perspective on it,
Right. And then, but there's another perspective. You have some people, yeah, of course. Yeah. Like you have some people who they enjoy their work and they're not business minded to do that themselves who, you just conform.
Yeah. I mean, you had another ESPN anchor. She was on college. She was doing the college, and her and her husband, they talked to their doctor, and they were trying to conceive a baby. So she was like, I can't take it. My doctor has told me I don't need to take it. So they were like, all right, deuces. So I'm like, damn. But that's how I go when you in those positions like that. So.
Oh man, are you serious, yo?
What happened?
Raven Nader just said, did anyone see Talib Kweli on Lord Jamar's show boasting about how he took the magic potion? Oh my God.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. I ain't too surprised.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. So in other news, I don't know if y'all heard about this. Because I know it wasn't on mainstream media. Harvard Business School temporary moves to classes online to curb COVID outbreak.
And their students the campus is 100% got the shot. 100.
Well, 96%.
Gotcha.
96%. 90% of the students and 96% of the staff are fully vaccinated. So now you got an outbreak. So what's the reason that how they get an outbreak? Was it from what's the percentage of students? I don't know. The little bit of students, the 5% of students, that's where they got it from, according to what they say, because it's the virus of the pandemic of the unvaccinated, right? I think that's what the words that they use. So did 5% of the students give them the virus? I'm confused. Y'all got any thoughts about that?
Nah. They're gonna be the ones that get blamed. We know that. But man.
But this goes to show what we talk about all the time, how the media drives everything, because you would have thought you would see this on everywhere. You would see this on MSNBC, CNN, because you have to have transparency, right? But again, we know we haven't been given transparency throughout this whole thing. So I guess you have to go and dig. I had to actually dig and find this article, to be honest. And it is on CNBC. But yeah, man. So I found that kind of strange. So
now, has Harvard mandated the?
Yep. So let me read a little bit of the article. It says they're mandating. It says the business school is also mandating COVID testing 3 times a week for all students. So they get tested 3 times a week, and on top of that.
But so they mandate them to get it, and now they're going to mandate testing.
No, they have been testing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it said the university administered.
See, the thing about it, to me, the thing that makes it confusing and just kind of weird with the mandate is the fact that you can still get it. That does not keep you from getting it. You can get it.
Right.
Now, what it's supposed to do is ease the symptoms of it. In other words, it's not supposed to be the death sentence like it was, before they put together the concoction. But the fact of the matter is, why mandate something? And it just logically, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, you can do it. To me, y'all know my views. Do what you want to do. This is your life. Do your research. Make the decision that is necessary for you and yours. Whatever. But to me, it just doesn't make sense to impede on a person's livelihood, and in that regard.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense for them to try to make people make these life decisions.
Yeah. But to your point, you said you what the shot doesn't prevent you from getting it. It doesn't prevent you from transmitting it, right?
Both.
What it's supposed to do is supposed to ease it's supposed to not give you the severe symptoms, right?
It is supposed to ease the symptoms. It's not supposed to be that bad.
But my question is, if everybody's body is uniquely different, like my body, my DNA and all that shit is totally different from yours. So what if I got the vaccination and I got COVID and it tore me the fuck up, but it don't do shit to you? You know what I'm saying? So how can they? I'm trying to figure out how the rationale behind them saying, "Oh, it's going to be ease symptoms." How do you know when everybody's body different?
Who knows? Who knows?
That's my point.
I said supposedly.
Right, but that's why. But this is where the confusion comes in, because you can't come out and adamantly say this is what's going to happen, and then when that doesn't happen, then that's just a rarity. Well, then don't come out just come out and say we don't know. We don't know.
That's like saying when people have other ailments, for example, like having cancer or something, and then there's treatment. So for some, even catching it early, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be one of many to still pass away. The rarities, it happens. It happens, and to me, there is no guarantee. So again, my point is that it's the mandate part that I think it's not fair.
Yeah, of course, and the mandates, I think that's universal across the board for everybody, whether you're fully cracks or not. I think it's the mandates that got people up in arms about the crap. I got my own theory about all this stuff going on, because I said this last night on our other show. So, and I don't think you've heard me say this before, so I'll kind of break it down real quick again. So, on the World Health Organization's website, tuberculosis is listed as one of its top 10 infectious diseases, right?
Okay.
I want y'all to follow me. Mm-hmm. So, tuberculosis kills worldwide 1.4 million people worldwide every year, right? Also on their website, it's still considered a crisis, a health crisis, and it's considered a health security risk. So my question is, where's the vaccine for that? Wouldn't that be considered a pandemic?
Mm-hmm.
But
there is a vaccine for TB, though.
No, they don't. There's no vaccine. There's no vaccine for TB.
Oh, so how do they treat it?
You know what? I don't know how they treat it, because apparently
I could have sworn that in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, they said that early treatment, if you're getting tested in early treatment, there was something.
No, they have I think they have like drugs or medicines or something that may treat the symptoms or something like that, but they don't have a cure or a vaccine for it. My point in bringing that up is, how is it that we've been living with tuberculosis forever? I remember getting tuberculosis shots when I was a kid. I remember getting that. I remember getting tested for the teeth.
So there is a vaccination for it.
If it's a vaccination for it,
sorry, craccination or whatever you want to say.
If it's the craccination for it, then we have to know, why are the numbers still as high as it is?
Yeah.
So my point of me bringing up TB is this is what I think happened with this vaccination, with this whole C-19 thing, because of course we know it's been around for 100 years. It's never really evolved to us, to the humans. It's never affected us at all. So this is what I think happened. You got you remember as a kid when you did some shit and you tried to cover it up from your parents and you tried to lie, and then you had to tell another lie to catch that lie, and then you had to keep telling another lie to catch that other lie. So they funded this lab in Wuhan to create this special to make this coronavirus more susceptible to humans, so it can be more infectious for us. This virus got out on purpose. This is just my own theory. It got out on purpose, and now that it's out, now they're trying to do this cleanup. That's why they're trying to push this vaccine to try to eradicate it so quickly, because they trying to cover up their tracks. We already know that Fauci funded the lab that created the shit. We already know that. That's a fact. That's evidence. You can go look that up. We already know that. So it's so many people that's implicated in this shit that they just trying to cover it up. And the quickest way to do it is try to get push this damn vaccine out so that this crack scene out. I got to be careful. I don't want this to get kicked off of YouTube. But this is my own theory. You can come up with any other theory you want to. There's a lot of other theories out there, but that's what I think is going on. It's just a whole bunch of covering up, and this is what's going on.
And if anybody has their views, if you want to come on camera, let us know. We will most definitely send you the link so we can hear your opinion. Also, we not here to judge you. We ain't here to argue anything like that. It's called, we're going to have a conversation. We can agree to disagree, or we can agree, or we can just disagree. It's all good either way. And for anybody that's watching right now, feel free to go ahead and go on YouTube and subscribe. Hit that little button. What's up, Kid Gravity? With what's going on, we have to understand the fact that we're put into a situation where the more that they come out with stuff, the more it's going to push people to come together, period. Because there have been union heads that have come out and said, I got the vaccination, but I do not agree with the mandates at all. Because so many people are against it, because we're supposed to be living in a society and a country where we're supposed to have freedoms. We're supposed to have civil liberties. But they're taking it away. And unfortunately, most people are pretty much just giving it away, which was their plan in the beginning, because by law, they know they can't force this on us. But if the public is clamoring for it, it makes their job easier. That's why you see so many posts, go out there and get it, go out there and get it, go out there and get it, because they're so emotionally attached to it, not knowing the real significance of it. Because based on what Main One just said, the sad part for me is going to be, this is going to turn into the biggest oops of all times. And it's not going to be a oops on our part, because we did our part. It's going to be on them. And when you see those commercials late night for those pharmaceutical drugs, like those commercials where you can go ahead and sue if you are damaged by this, it won't happen with this one, because the only people you're going to be able to sue is your employer, if you have an employer. Because you can't sue the pharmaceutical companies. You can't sue the CDC. You can't sue the FDA. None of that. They're all exempt. And these people are telling you what to do with your body, and they don't even know what the fuck is going on. Well, excuse me. They do know, you don't, and they're telling you what they want you to know.
Right. Hey man, look. Another way of living. Man, look, they're investigating themselves. Isn't that funny? How you gonna investigate your own shit? I did some shit and I'm gonna investigate my own self. That's crazy as hell. Man,
that's why I tell people, go watch V for Vendetta. This is the perfect example.
But the media, we try to be the voice of reason when it comes to the media. We try to give it straight down the middle. we don't have any biases. We try to call everything objectively, but the media from the beginning has lied to us. The media from the beginning has caused the crack scene hesitancy because of their lack of transparency, because they only want you to hear one side of things. And I'm gonna transition from this a little bit. Well, hold on. I want to stay on this a little bit. just a little while longer. I want to stay on. We're gonna stay on this, and then we're gonna get off of this, and we're gonna move to something else. So I'm gonna share this real quick. So the CEO, is this the one? Yeah, the CEO of Pfizer, he comes out and he says we will be back to normal by November. Now, what gives him the notion to say that? How does he know by November we're gonna be back to normal? I'll put this article in the chat so y'all can read it yourself if y'all want it. But the CEO of the drug company is saying exactly when it's gonna be over. How does he know that? That's almost like when they came out with the FDA approval. We heard on Thursday that they were going to approve it that Monday. How did they know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand who they got on the inside that said, "Hey, look, it's gonna get passed through on Monday." I mean, they got to have some kind of insider on the inside to let them know all this stuff. So, I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on out here. That's more than meets the eye. It's more than just what's on the surface of what's going on. We even got that doctor that comes on, the Asian woman, Dr. Lena Wen, that's on CNN all the time, and she is the former director of Planned Parenthood. Let's not forget that. If you didn't know, she is. And this is what she said in January: coronavirus is a concern, but flu takes more lives. Now, in September, her whole thing has changed now. She's done a whole flip-flop shit. What you call it, Flu? What my man said on Vampire in Brooklyn? She flip-flop. She did the flip-flop shit. Now it's the coronavirus, and you got to get the shot and all this kind of stuff.
Well, that is facts, because you have to keep in mind that flu season is coming up.
Right. But so I haven't heard anything about the flu.
Wait a minute.
In the last 18 months.
That's the thing. Flu season is coming up, but last year during flu season, it was down 90. No, it was down 1,000%, whatever it was. It was a crazy number. So basically, there is no more flu based on what's going on now.
Yes, Sarah, you're right. They're all on the inside, and I mean, and we know these discussions and meetings take place. So
my thing for anybody who's on the, and it's not, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm just an intelligent person that knows how to read. I know how to find shit. I know how to research. I know how to find studies, and I know how to read these studies. My thing is, if, for instance, if I'm a fire chief in a local little town, and they're about to shut my firehouse down because we about to lose some workers because we ain't got enough work, and I go out and become a serial arsonist, and I just start lighting fires all around the neighborhood and shit, right? Just to keep us in business. Now, if information start coming out saying that, pointing at me saying, "Hey, I'm the arsonist, I'm the one that's causing the fire," and we still keep taking fire advice from me, who's the stupid person in this scenario? The people that's still taking advice from me, right? Because I'm the one going around setting the fires. Why are we still listening to Dr. Mauchi? And he's already lied to Congress. He's already been implicated in the Wuhan scandal, funding the place. He's the same doctor that was in place when the AIDS epidemic was out, and said that it came from monkeys and it was airborne and all this kind of stuff. We've been taking advice from this same guy for 40 years. And I still see this guy on TV. They still bringing him on TV saying you need to do this and you need to do that. I just don't get it. But it's the media that's doing this. This is who's got us in this situation. The media and these government officials. He's the highest paid unelected government official in Washington D.C. He's making $400,000 a year, and he's been giving bad advice for the last 40 years, and he's still in the same position. But the media and the liberal media and these government henchmen, they keep everything in line because they keep everybody scared. They keep everybody scared.
That's why I would say you got to be careful with where you're getting your information, and then you can't overdo it, and then you can't underdo it. You have to, you have to find that sweet spot. And you can't always, research just with Google. I mean, there's a such thing as medical journals. Read them. Some of these things are facts.
Yo, man, pull up that video I just sent you on the messenger. Yo, I gotta touch on this. It's not the exact video I wanted, but it's good enough.
Okay. Give me a second. My PC is running a tad bit slow. I got a lot of windows open around here.
Again, you guys, if this is your first time listening to us, don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We're also on Facebook. We have a group. And we're also on Instagram, Unplugged FYM. If you are listening, share the video and hashtag Unplugged FYM.
Use the second one. Use the second one I just sent you, fam, not the first one.
Okay.
And once you cue it up, I'm gonna say why I wanted to pull this up, because I want people to. I want to cue this shit up the right way, with everything that's going on, and I want to make sure I frame it right for everybody that's listening, especially people who kind of don't believe anything. What I want people to understand is this. There's a lot of conspiracies out there. I'm not going to say theories. There are a lot of things out there that people believe. And some of it is very, very far-fetched. Some of it isn't, until you kind of see something for yourself. That could be the UFOs. That could be people saying the earth is flat. That could be people saying that there's lizards walking around us, walking amongst us and things like that. And for me personally, due to what we've seen, especially like in movies and TV shows and everything like that, they do that for a reason. Now, the video that you're getting ready to see, I want everybody to pay attention to this man's neck. And I want you to ask yourself, in your life, have you ever seen someone's neck move in this fashion? Go ahead and cue it up, yo.
That the product of the vaccine is effective and safe.
Talk, if you can, for a moment about the safety. What have you learned about serious side effects in this vaccine? Can for a moment about the safety. What have you learned about serious side effects in this vaccine? Can for a moment about the safety. What have you learned about serious side effects in this vaccine? Can for a moment about the safety. What have you learned about serious side effects in this vaccine? What can you tell us about the effectiveness of the drug? We know it was 95%. What can you tell us about the effectiveness of the drug? We know it was 95%.
Now, here's the thing about that video. Once again, if we sitting here breathing, if you look at my neck, no matter what I do, my neck can't move in and out like that. It cannot move. It can't do that. Period. You can have a lump or something like that. You can grow it. His shit was literally moving this way. Our shit moves this way if you talk. It's nothing you could fucking do. Now, with watching something like that, all I'm going to say to people is, what if? What if it's true? So that means that we don't know who a person could be. You have no fucking idea. And that video for me, it was like, I was looking at it like, what the fuck? I have seen people with the hole in their necks that smoke cigarettes and shit like that. Their neck doesn't move that way. Period. It's scary, but for me, I don't know. I know Jay probably never watched it. I know Maine did. That show back in the day called V.
Yeah.
That shit was it. I love watching that shit, and that was some raw shit.
And they tried to remake. They tried to remake it.
Even though the effect would have been better, I wouldn't have watched it. And somebody was just talking about Judy Mikovits. Here's her book right here, Plague of Corruption. If you haven't checked it out, for anybody, this is the person who was working with Mauchi, who basically Mauchi was kind of leaning on. She's the truth. Mauchi don't know shit.
So you know what my next question is going to be.
What's that?
What was it? What's the theory here? What is he a frog person? I mean, what is it? What was the point of this?
There's a theory out here that amongst us are aliens that live amongst us walking around. There's also like lizard people. And this is something that especially with the aliens, that's something that's kind of been proven because now they're admitting that there are aliens here and they've been here. This ain't nothing that's far-fetched. Now, when you start talking about the lizard people, there's a lot behind that. But as anybody who's been down the rabbit hole, they know about it. Anybody that's been down the rabbit hole, that fuck dip your toe in, that don't dove all the way in, they understand what it is. Most people won't even think to believe it. But for me,
because I don't think I have the capacity to get into that. That's just weird.
But this the whole thing. When you look at something like that, and if you ask yourself, what if, then you say, if that person isn't quote unquote human and has a position like that to control humans, what kind of damage can that do? Because they have no reason to care about humans. Because that person that was talking, whose neck was moving like that, came out his face and said he hasn't even taken a shot.
Oh, Sarah Joe said that was the CEO of Pfizer. He worked as a vet first. Okay. Hey, look, I don't put nothing past because I always believe in art imitating life and life imitating art. So if you hadn't ever seen that show V, hell, just do a YouTube of V TV series, and it's basically the summary of the TV series is some reptilian people came to take over the earth. They had human face, but underneath they were reptilians, and basically they was just trying to take over the earth. So anyway, I mean,
yeah.
Look, I don't think anything's far fetched at this point. At last year in January, I would have slapped somebody if they would have said they're gonna mandate this crack scene. I'd have slapped them. I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't have believed it. I don't think nobody would have believed it. But here we are in almost October, and a whole bunch of people about to lose their jobs. So we're gonna transition off of C-19 and the crack scene, and I want to, but I also and the reptilian people. I still want to stay on the media on how the media does their biases. So I don't know if y'all heard. It was last Friday or last Thursday on The View. Kamala Harris was supposed to do an interview with them, and they had to pull two of the hosts off, Sonny and the
Anna Navarro.
And Anna Navarro. They pulled them off because they supposedly tested positive for COVID.
I heard about that. Are you going to cue the video so we can watch a clip of it? Because I didn't really see it. I heard about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna cue the video. I just wanted to, you know, kind of warm it up a little bit. So apparently from reading what they do as far as what the View does, they get tested before they go on stage. They get tested when they come into the lot, the studio or whatever. Then they get tested again before they go on stage. So they pulled them before Kamala Harris was supposed to come on and do the interview. But then it turns out after the interview, and then she didn't even come in studio. So Kamala Harris didn't even come in studio. She ended up still doing it remotely. And then come to find out that the tests were false positives. So my theory, hold on. I'll tell y'all what my theory, after I cue this, I'll tell y'all what my theory.
I was going to say that I've asked that's not new. That's been happening a lot. False positives.
So what's new?
Right out of the gate today, The View took on the hot topic of last Friday's unexpectedly chaotic show. On air, co-hosts Sunny Hostin and Ana Navarro were asked to leave the set because they'd tested positive for COVID-19.
I need the two of you to step off for a second. Okay. Anna and we're going to bring you back later.
The moment especially concerning because Vice President Kamala Harris was to make her first in-studio appearance since the election. But turns out the test results were false positives, and both hosts are actually COVID-free. This morning, Hostin became emotional as she described how her surgeon husband was pulled out of the operating room and her child out of class after that false positive was announced on live TV.
Not too long ago, I delivered the eulogy at my in-laws' funeral. So you can imagine how I felt thinking that I could possibly be COVID positive and my family could experience another loss.
The co-host thanked viewers for weighing in with well wishes, though they said not all of the feedback was positive, some downright mean. Donald Trump Jr. tweeted, "Given the Ana Navarro news, I think it's time for a national conversation about the dangers of COVID-19 and obesity." Navarro,
obesity.
When you are a dimwit with no skill or talent or significant accomplishments, living off your father's fame and name and fortune, you've got to draw attention to yourself.
The show host also had a message for Vice President Harris. Please come back.
Well, I think.
So I'm going to pause it right there because I put this clip together because I wanted to kind of bring home a point real quick about what the media does. I want everybody out there, if you have never seen the movie called Wag the Dog, please go watch Wag the Dog. It will open your mind to all this theater that you see going on. Like I said, art imitates life, life imitates art. So my theory behind this is they didn't want Sunny, who's in the red. They didn't want Sunny or Ana Rivera, whatever her name is. They didn't want those two giving Kamala Harris hardball questions about the border issue that's going on with the Haitians, because they have been banging on them about that. I think Sunny's husband's father is Haitian, or either her husband is Haitian, has Haitian descent or something like that. And of course, you know, the chick she got Mexican descent or whatever. So they wanted them to get off a stage, especially Sunny, because she's an attorney and she's been really vocal about it. But they didn't want to single her out, and it looked crazy with just the black woman leaving off stage. So they grabbed the other person of color and put her off stage too, so they can get the softball questions from the other two hosts. So this is what Sunny had to say about the border crisis. I think 2 or 3 days prior to that, I guess when it happened, the day after those pictures and images came out of what was going on at the border.
The reason that we're not seeing more help, if I'm going to be frank about it, is because they're Haitian. I think
Well,
that
yeah.
is the history.
Explain, please.
Well, we saw it, and you and I talked about this, Whoopi. We saw it when it first came to the demonizing of Haitians when it came to the AIDS crisis.
That's right.
And then we saw it continuing. It really began with the pilfering of France by Haiti and the punishment of Haiti for becoming the first Black free nation in our hemisphere. And I think that U.S. policy towards Haiti has always been corrupt. And it doesn't have to be that way because we know that the United States can do it. There is a way to do it. There's just no will to do it because the United States and the White House has promised to bring 95,000 Afghans here. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be brought here because they should be, right? Yeah. That is the promise of this country. But if you can bring 95,000 Afghans here, then why are you sending 86 Haitians back on an airplane? Right? That is the promise of this country. But if you can bring 95,000 Afghans here, why are you sending 86 Haitians back on an airplane? Right? That's the promise of this country. But if you can bring 95,000 Afghans here, why are you sending 86 Haitians back on an airplane?
I'm
That's the promise of this country.
Hey, we got some feedback. Somebody playing it.
Yeah, it ain't me. That could be them fucking with us too.
No, I think Jay might have been playing it on Facebook.
Yeah, that was me on Facebook.
Yeah, so I think they pulled him off a stage so they wouldn't ask Kamala no questions. They didn't want her to answer no questions about that shit. And if you watch that episode of you, they ain't ask her shit about the damn border.
Yeah, but Maine, the thing about that is, we know that when it comes to Kamala, if she can't repeat and say the same thing, that's also an issue too. Her clone works well with saying the same thing over and over again. If she got to say something, or she got to laugh, if she got to do that fake ass laugh, then we know that she's good. But other than that, nah, it's just not gonna work.
Yeah, but it goes again, like we said about that, about the media. The media can swing things whatever way they want to swing them. They'll swing them.
For right now, who's ever watching, the movie is old. It's older. Please watch Wag the Dog. You have to watch. I'm serious. You have to watch that movie. You're gonna sit there in the beginning and you're gonna be like, what is this? Then you're gonna say, wait a minute, they did what? Mm-hmm. Huh? As it goes on, compare what's going on in that movie to the theater that we see every single day. It is crazy, the similarities. And they did that for a reason, because remember, you have to understand that the rule is they have to put things in plain sight.
Yep.
And the best way they put things in plain sight is in a movie, because you look at it as, that'll never happen. Oh, that'll never happen, when it's happening all the damn time. There's a reason why there's been so many zombie movies in the past, I would say 15 years, give or take. Because before that, there wasn't no zombie movies. There wasn't no damn movies about people eating brains and all that shit.
Well, you had Night of the Living Dead.
No, we talk about consistent.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now you got all kind of them. All different kinds now.
You ain't got just The Walking Dead. Now they got a spinoff, Fear of the Walking Dead. Like, damn.
And I'm guilty. I watch all that shit because I take clues from all of them.
I don't watch Fear of the Walking Dead, but I do watch Walking Dead.
I take clues from all of them. Sarah Jo, you are absolutely right. Predictive programming. Sarah Jo is on it. Sarah Jo, where you from? She is on it. Let me see. I got another. So, I don't want to talk about that. Well, I guess we can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate. Oh, don't forget, you said you wanted to mention about Robert.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into that in the next hour.
Okay.
Sarah Joe, you from PA. That's what's up. That's what's up.
And we definitely appreciate the love that we getting from everybody, because it seems like a lot of people on the same page.
Yo, so how do y'all feel about this? IRS is going to track 600. He's trying to push this so it tracks $600 transactions out of your bank account. So now they want to get in your bank account. So not only they want to know your health shit, now they want to get in your bank account. How y'all feel about the mandates now? Because we said, you know, once they start with one thing, and once they say, and the people be like, all right, cool, because they said what happened? So with the Patriot Act, they were able to get in our phones and all this kind of stuff with the Patriot Act. So then we got the mask mandate. Oh, ain't nobody push back on the mask mandate. Now we got the crack scene. Nobody pushing back on the crack. Well, we got people pushing back on the crack scene, but now they trying to get this through. And with the help of, and they trying to enlist the help of Cash App and Zelle and all these other apps where people transfer money. I mean, I think they're trying to go after Bitcoin. I think that's my personal opinion. They're trying to go after Bitcoin.
Well, they are going after. The SEC is going after Bitcoin. They've been summoned to provide documents to show transactions, and I'm speaking of the app Coinbase. The CEO was tweeting on. He was tweeting that the SEC is requesting documentation files from us, and we provided them, but they have not told us what it is they're trying to sue us. What's the basis of you guys trying to sue us? That's been like the top talk. I really don't know what was the result of it.
Mm-hmm. You muted.
Yes, I know. I was getting feedback in the background. But yeah, the Coinbase CEO actually talk about how they're coming for Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't know, but now specifically with this seeing transactions in your own personal bank account, I don't see that coming to any type of fruition, and that is because of privacy. There is a privacy act.
We don't have privacy anymore.
Technically, theoretically, we don't.
The Patriot Act killed that.
We do.
The Patriot Act killed that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brandon said, also remember when people got their stimulus, many were investing it rather than blowing it, which is smart, or nonsense. And some person was complaining that saying that a free market was BS because people invested. I'm sorry. I was one of those advocates that said, hey, listen, depending on the severity of what you're going through, you know, during the pandemic, if you can afford to invest it, invest it. And you are absolutely right, Brandon. A lot of people put their money into crypto.
A lot of people came up. A lot of people came up over the last 18 months as far as with that crypto and investing. I ain't gonna dig too deep into that, but you know. But yeah, and even on Cash App, if you I think I read something the other day. I should have pulled that article. But if you got a certain amount of transactions at a certain amount, you're gonna end up getting a 1099 or something like that. Yep. If you got a business account, something like that. So you gotta, hey man, they coming for you. They coming for your money.
Yeah, and this is something, you know, I have always understood the reason why people collect certain data for, you know, purposes of knowing how to handle things. But when you start saying that, you know, I want to see transactions over X amount of money, that's a little bit, no.
Yeah.
That's too deep. And what could happen, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of the businesses, companies are not going to want to do this. Why? Is because people are going to start pulling their money out of certain banks. They're not going to have those patrons anymore.
But guess what? All the banks are all connected. It don't matter what bank you go. It's all still using that fiat currency. So once they turn that off, then what?
Well, there is a such, but you do have independently owned banks, small banks, small businesses and banks.
But where are they getting their money from? The people.
Well, if they're FDIC insured,
right?
Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
but there is a hierarchy to this.
Yeah, I mean, you getting all your notes from the Federal Reserve. So that's what that's why I say, when people be like, well, we got to get the black owned banks and the Greenwood and all this stuff. I said that's cool, but if you still get notes from the Federal Reserve, then it's really not black owned. You got black people maybe running it, but it's not black owned. It's not black people. Now, if you got a community where just black people circulating their own money, but even at that point, that money is coming from the Federal Reserve. It still got the Federal Reserve notes on it.
I have a feeling that definitely has not happened since the day of
Reconstruction, Black Wall Street. Yeah.
Well, Black Wall Street, and then what we know as mill towns.
Well, I mean, these bankers been in our country since 1933. So the Federal Reserve been here since 1913 when they had the Income Tax Act or something like that. I think it was 1913 or 1933. I'm not sure on the exact date, but it's something like that. But either way, another way of living. I took my stimulus, invested into stocking up on water, non-perishable. Hey, we just talked about that last week. What you gonna do to survive? I hope you got some bug out bags too. Don't forget the bug out bags. You need the bug out bags. And some fire starters, some matches, some life straws, all that kind of stuff. Because, man, look, here's another story that I found. The Jamie Dimon says J.P. Morgan has begun to prepare for potential U.S. default.
What does that mean?
Well, the government is potentially going to shut down on October the 18th if they don't increase the debt ceiling. So I think that's what's going on right now. They're trying to figure out if they're going to increase the debt ceiling or if the government going to shut down. So this CEO, somehow he's predicting that what's going to happen. So
another prediction.
Somebody else who got. So here goes somebody else who got some inside knowledge, just like earlier in 2020, where all those CEOs were selling the stocks off of these companies and stuff like that. They got the word from somewhere that something was going to happen. So, we said this last week. You need to start preparing yourself. You need to be able to defend your home. You need to be able to have food in your home, water. If the lights go out, you need to be able to survive for at least 72 hours. At least 72 hours, maybe longer, but at least 72 hours. So, man, there's a lot of stuff going on. But, Jay, you want to transition to Mr. Pied Piper himself?
I want to get into entertainment. It is, poor Mr. Robert Kelly. Poor Mr. Robert Kelly. Have y'all heard about this? Who all have seen this and has heard about it? He could potentially spend the rest of his life in prison.
He will. And
oh my God!
I'm gonna tell you like this. He gonna be like Kid in House Party when he was in jail. He gonna be singing for his life for the next 50, 60 years until he done.
Somebody posted it earlier, and I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. Somebody posted on Facebook. I bet R. Kelly's sitting there looking in the mirror saying "damn" to himself.
Oh my God! His own lyrics, not his own lyrics though. Not his own lyrics. What the hell
is this?
Not his own lyrics.
Oh man. Hey man, he gonna be. Hey, look, I say this like I said last night. I think he deserves every bit of every year that he will do, but I also think that we have to look at, especially as a community, underlying things that goes on in our community and how we just let these things just slide under the radar. We by me saying this, we know he was molested as a kid, and we know hurt people hurt people. That's not it. That's not an excuse for what he did. It's not an excuse, but we have to at some point we have to realize that we're all victims of something. We're all victims of something, and I don't feel sorry for him. I mean, but at the same time, you had a whole bunch of people around him that were complicit in all this shit.
Yep.
A lot of people, management, roadies, friends, or whatever, they were all complicit in what happened to these people. All complicit. I think all of them need to be brought up on some type of charges. I mean, hell, even the parents to some extent, because it's like, yo, you can't prostitute your kids out here in the name of fame and money. That shit ain't fucking damn cool. Especially, and I don't want to say especially, but your girls. Nah, we not finna do that. Ain't no reason why my 13, 14, 15-year-old girl, if she can sing or she got talent or whatever, she ain't finna be around no grown fucking damn man by her fucking self. Hell no. That's not happening on my watch. Not for the sake of some fucking damn money. Hell no. But
you're absolutely right. That's what I was getting ready to say. I was getting ready, because the first thing that popped in my mind was Aaliyah and her parents. See, if it's true that Aaliyah was married to R. Kelly, the only way that could have happened is if her parents agreed to it. So what the hell were the terms? That means that the parents agreed to that shit to a certain extent.
Yep.
So you can't sit here and put it all on him, because it also falls on them. And in my personal opinion, we're making that statement. R. Kelly had to be in his late 20s at the earliest.
He was 27 when he married Aaliyah.
So if he was 27 years old, you mean to tell me that y'all, like, as parents, y'all was cool with that? When more than likely y'all was probably mad when 18-year-olds were kicking it to Aaliyah in high school 9 times out of 10, because that's usually how it goes anyway. The seniors want to mess with the freshman girl. That's a given. I mean, give or take how it's going to go. But in this instance, we dealing with the fact that we got somebody who's being persecuted to the highest extent, when kids are missing every day, when there are kids getting molested every single day. Y'all not so stressed about that shit. Motherfuckers sitting there laughing and joking about R. Kelly. You ain't saying that about your motherfucking uncle that touched your cousin. You ain't talking about that shit.
Maurice.
So it's. I mean, I'm the same way. I'm the same way like Maine. I'm not going to sit here and justify what he did.
Right.
But what I will say is this, and this is something, even though I don't agree with him with a lot of the shit that he's saying now. Somebody asked D.L. Hughley if he's going to still listen to R. Kelly songs.
What'd he say?
He said, "Why wouldn't I? I still got to listen to the national anthem." Same shit. Same exact shit.
Wow.
So when you put this shit into perspective, I'm not going to not listen to his music, because the sad part about it is, musically, he is a fucking genius. Outside of music, he's a sick motherfucker. Period. It's like, and you don't get around that. But we got to learn how to separate that shit. But at the same time, what needs to also happen is people need to start addressing their motherfucking problems and get help.
Correct.
That's something that needs to be talked about.
Correct.
And see, and that's what I was alluding to. Dr. Alan Berger, PhD, he's the one I got that quote from. We are all victims of victims. See, R. Kelly, even if you listen to his song, because I had to start, when all this stuff, when he got locked up in jail and all this stuff started coming, I started listening to his song, because real geniuses and artists, they put the shit they're going through in their songs. I want y'all to listen to that song, I Wish. If you listen to that song, he is crying out. And, he's saying, He's saying, you know, he got all this fame and these people around him. Would they be around him if he ain't had his money and all this kind of damn shit? He was crying out for help because he had all these people around him enabling him, bringing him young girls. Who I want to know who's the motherfuckers that was bringing him, that was recruiting these women. Like Jesleen Maxwell was recruiting for Epstein. I want to know who was his recruiter. Who was out there recruiting these young girls when he's on the road or whatever? Who was bringing them to the studio? I want to know who was the roadie that saw this young girl and turned this fucking damn head and went like this and said, "Let him do what he doing. I'm getting paid. I'm on the road. I'm doing this." I want to know them motherfuckers because they are implicit in this shit. They complicit in this shit.
And it's funny that you say that because, and I'm going to quote New York Times. They actually wrote an article about it. They said the entertainer had an expansive network of enablers around him. Federal prosecutor said, from his closest confidants and employees to many in the music industry who knew of the concern about his behavior but did not intervene. Mm-hmm. It's funny that you said that. They're talking about it. It's like, wait, how can something like this go on for so long?
Right.
You know, it's crazy. He's an artist. He is an artist. Some people are able to separate the two. Some people are not. You know, however you deal with these things is how you deal with it. But, you know, I kind of feel like, you know, with him, it's
and we also have to realize Hollywood and the music industry and all this shit. Yo, it's some freaking weirdos out here, man. And you have to be careful because that Hollywood casting couch, that shit is real. I got a homie that's in LA and he was telling me about this girl he used to date. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't no actor, she wasn't no trained actor. She was just pretty, had a nice body or whatever, and said she met this guy or whatever, say he was a producer and he wanted her to, you know, be in one of his films. He wanted her to come to his office at 7:00 at night. So he went with her. So the guy didn't know he was coming with her. So when she came in with him, his whole fucking facial shit, he was telling me his whole facial shit changed. His whole demeanor changed and shit like that. And he said, when the guy invited her into his office, he was like, "Yo, you want to come?" And he was like, "No, I'm going to sit outside." Because he knew, because at that point, the guy knew, oh shit, I can't do what the fuck I was going to do. So when she came out, she had a stack full of fucking damn scripts and papers and shit like that. Like I said, she ain't never did no acting before in her life. But this what they do to these young girls. So imagine if he wasn't there, what would have went down? Imagine how many times that happened with these young girls going to Hollywood saying, "I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna make it work," and would do anything to get put in position.
Right. Mandy in the chat just said, first and foremost, the parents should be held accountable. And I'm going to expand on that. So should the people that was around him all those years.
Absolutely.
So should they. Go ahead, Fu.
When Jaguar Wright was putting people on blast and talking about all the stuff that goes on in the music industry, and she was putting so many people on blast and telling stories. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say this. I might as well say the name. It doesn't really matter. There was a chick I went to high school with. Her name was Flo. Her name was Flo Brown. If somebody looks up Flo Brown music, you might be able to find some. It's a possibility. Well, Jaguar Wright told a story about her and Flo being on the road. And the one time I think she wasn't there, and Flo ended up getting raped on the road. Now here's the crazy thing about that, because once I heard that story and how like Jaguar was so hurt when she admitted what happened, because she felt so bad that she wasn't there. I remember back in the day after we graduated, and one of my homeboys was telling me that Flo wasn't the same. She went crazy. That's the reason why that's the reason why Flo had her moment, because Flo was a virgin and got raped. So what goes on out here like that is different when it hits home. It's totally different. So if you have one of those gifted children that you want to get out there like that, you make sure your monkey ass is there every single step of the way. They ain't got no private meetings, no nothing. You can't even go in a room by them. Nah, fuck that. Somebody is always there because they know they can't do what they want to do if you're there. And I would say we as men, we got to make sure we do our part, especially when it comes to the women, because bottom line is, whether it's a woman that's going to be doing the interviewing or a man, they usually want to take advantage of women. And as far as the other way around, they always want to take advantage of little boys, because most like I guess if I use me for an example, I'm different. You ain't gonna come at me sideways. I'm punching your motherfucking mouth. It's not gonna happen. I don't give a fuck how old I am. But most kids are very impressionable, because I remember Jaguar Wright telling a story about how the executives would usually do their best to get the kid in the room by themselves and say, you need to go ahead and do this, because if you don't, mommy won't be able to pay the rent. I know you don't want mommy to get kicked out. Shit like that. That's the type of shit that we're dealing with. Now imagine how that happens when it comes to these kids that are being abducted. The same shit with R. Kelly and things like that. However it goes, it doesn't matter, because when you compare this to like the Bill Cosby situation, those were adults. We talk about children here, and being that we're talking about children, when you start when you sit there and say it takes a village to raise a child, we have to make sure that the village is right.
Right.
And that's part of the reason why so many parents are so scared to have their kids around anybody, even fucking family members, because it's some sick motherfuckers out here. But like Jermaine said, hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
This is where it needs to be more mental health facilities. I remember growing up. I remember when the Crazy House got shut down. I remember that shit. If I'm not mistaken, that was under Reagan shit. Reagan did all that. When all of a sudden you went from where Bellevue was,
you mean
crazy people was, to all of a sudden these motherfuckers on the street. It shifted. Medication ain't always the key, but when you start talking about counseling and shit like that, and this is what we need more of now. We need more. We need more counseling and therapy. I think everybody needs it to a certain extent. Everybody needs that shit, because I know how I am. I'm the type of motherfucker. I hold in everything. I'm not afraid to speak my mind, but I handle things differently. The same way Mame may hold things in differently, and so and just like Jay, because I can tell you straight up and down. My grandmother used to say to me straight up, "You a man or you a mouse." I didn't cry like that when I was a kid, because I had to man the fuck up. It translated cool with me. Everybody can't handle that shit. Everybody's not the same.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want people to know this too. Even our listeners right now. It's nothing wrong with getting yourself evaluated, with talking to a therapist. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
It is. I don't know about y'all. I'm not going to say that it's extreme when it comes to our culture, but it kind of sort of is. I remember when I was going through therapy, it was like, and I'm telling my friends or whatever, and someone was looking at me like I'm the next mental case, but no, it gives you a chance to talk things through with someone who's listening. See, everybody around you ain't always listening to you.
Yep.
So, if you are one of those people that need it, do it. Go and seek help. And if you know someone, talk to your people. But let me tell you, I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm a good listener, not a licensed therapist. My advice, I tell my own friends, go and seek therapy.
Yep.
It could just be a moment in time to help you as an adult think things through.
Yep.
Think things through. So I'm an advocate for mental health.
And just imagine if Mr. Kelly, R. Kelly, had somebody in his ear saying, "Hey, bro, I think you need to get some help." Would his trajectory been where it is now? Who's to say? But it wasn't
in this situation.
It wasn't nobody adult enough, man enough, woman enough to say, "Hey, look, fuck the money that I'm getting from you. Hey, look, if you don't stop what you're doing right now,
I'm gonna say something.
I'm telling
myself.
Matter of fact, I should have been told. I might still tell. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nobody around, because everybody had their hand in his pocket.
Right.
And like I said, when I listen to that song, I wish if you ain't never listened to that song before, and you probably heard it, and you listen to the beat and you listen to it, but if you actually listen to those words,
he's
man,
probably crying out for help.
those words will bring a tear to your eye, because it's like, yo, he's begging, for help. He's begging for help. So, yo, look, I ain't ashamed. I've gone and seen and talked to a therapist. I've talked to a therapist, and I'm a big proponent of, starting inside first. So, that's the first place I go. I go inside first, and then if that ain't enough, then you got to go talk to somebody. So
yeah. So listen, I'm so happy that we touched on that, and I hope you guys are listening. Again, if you know someone or if you need it yourself, it's nothing wrong. Get out there and get it for yourself. I'm gonna move on to the next our next genius artist.
All right.
I was meaning to mention this to you. So did y'all know that Kanye West is gonna open a private school in Simi Valley, California? Now, if y'all don't know Simi Valley, this is Southern California. It's most notable for where police officers were captured on videotape with your boy Rodney King in March 1991. Did y'all know that? Yeah. He's going to open a private school, and he's naming it after his mom.
Okay. All right. That's what's up.
So I'm not really sure what type of school. Like, will it be like a school for, like artists or technical or whatever?
Yeah.
But it just says he's going to be opening a school. So
now, it ain't gonna be like Dr. Umar school that ain't open yet. Is he gonna open it?
First of all, Kanye is quite well, financially. So this is gonna happen.
I love Dr. Umar.
Listen, it's this is not a rumor. This is what he's been working on, and at some point he will, I'm sure, open it. And it's not to say anything. The thing with Mr. Umar, you need funding. He's not Kanye West. Know that. You don't have that financial.
Hey, I know King Randall got his school popping. That's all I'm saying. He ain't getting.
Shout out to King Randall.
I'm just saying. My boy King Randall been doing this thing for a long time.
He made it happen, and he started from the bottom, and he's moving up. And I hope that he's at the point now where everything that we talked about in our earlier podcast with him this year, he's there. As a matter of fact, we should consider talking to him to see exactly where he is. I'm proud of him.
Oh yeah.
He made it happen. He was like, man, forget all that. I'm going to do this with donations and help from my community. And he did it. So I'm proud of him for doing that.
Yeah. Well, I hope Kanye, I hope it ain't publicly funded. I hope it's, all out of his pocket. So he ain't got to have the restrictions like with curriculum and all that kind of stuff. So
yes. Last but not least, and this is really not news, but I'm just wondering, have you guys ever seen, y'all know who the Brat is, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Y'all ever seen her really dressed up?
Yes.
I hadn't. This was my first time ever seeing her like dress. Like she was. Yeah. If you go to Brat, go to Instagram. I want people to do due diligence because it's worth seeing.
Man, you ain't
do
got
your due diligence.
You ain't got Instagram. You ain't got the picture
and
to show.
Look at the Brat. I was like, I didn't even know she had curves like that.
What?
Yeah.
I've never paid attention. Every time I see the Brat, like she's dressed,
Do you know who her sister is?
Yeah, I know who her sister is.
Okay.
Tell me her name though. What's her name again?
Lisa Ray.
Lisa Ray. There you go.
You didn't know. You didn't know that Iverson was fucking the Brat back in the day.
Now what now?
Allen Iverson used to fuck the Brat. Iverson ain't just gonna smash. Believe me, he wasn't just fucking her because she was the Brat.
Smash is probably one of the best terms we can use.
Hey.
Was the Brat.
Yes. And mind you, this was when he was married. So yes.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing like, and I say that to say people want to assume about the Brat. The Brat went both ways. I think always has. She just looked like she didn't. And she covered up. Basically, the Brat has always been the type of chick that we kind of grew up with. You never really knew what a chick had back in the day because of the way the clothes.
Well, she's showing it, honey. She has arrived, and she mentioned that the outfit that she had on, which is a blue jean ensemble, just When I tell you the brat is bad.
What's funny you saying that? I was just watching, Ricky Smiley, they put the show up on YouTube where you can see it. And that episode with Ricky had saw that picture. He was like, "Damn, Brad, I didn't know you was like that." He was like, "You my sister and all." He said,
"My sister or whatever." But I'm looking like, wait a minute, y'all gonna take that picture down? Take that picture down. That's not
right.
And that's what stunned me. Myself, I was like, what? So that wraps up entertainment for me. Yo. I'm gonna end on that. No pictures. Y'all go out and see it. And next week, I definitely want some feedback what y'all think, because I have never seen her really, really fix up. I mean, no braids. She took the braids out. She got her hair popping, the outfit popping, got the curves. Wow.
So
congratulations.
I got a question for the last 15, 20 minutes of the show. I got a question for you guys. And whoever's still watching. Y'all ready?
Yes.
So I read an article that only 33% of scientists believe in God. So my question is, can you follow and believe in the science and believe in God at the same time?
Good ass question.
I said the science because that's what everybody said. You got to follow the science. I'm following the science.
Personally, I'll go first.
Okay.
I absolutely can. Because there's a scripture somewhere, and I may not say it right, but faith without works is dead. Somebody got to be working these things.
That what you got to say?
I can follow, because faith without works is dead. So just, I'm thinking about it in terms of, we can believe that we're going to be millionaires one day or famous one day. We can think it, whatever. But if you don't put it into action, you understand? It's dead. You just sitting there with a lot of thoughts, a lot of theory, a lot of believing, quote unquote. But you got to get out here and do the works. Now, this is my opinion. I don't know.
Now, I don't know what the billionaire got to do with science, but we talk about science.
I know. How can science become what it is if somebody is not actively working into it and doing it and finding things and working things out?
But if that person that's working things out and finding things out don't believe in God, then what?
He could believe in God and work things out too, because he could be believing so much in himself, saying, hey, listen, God put me on this earth because I have a talent, or there's something smart about me, or something, about me that put me in this position to be the scientist I am. That's what I'm talking about. So I absolutely believe, you could.
Okay. What you think, fool?
What say you, fool?
It's people out here who Bible thumpers, who got that shot, and the people who got that shot, if I'm not mistaken, in the Bible they talk about the mark of the beast. So I've seen people all through Facebook for a long time talk about the mark of the beast. Oh, when this come out and they talk about putting a chip in your hand, I'm not gonna do it. It's the mark of the beast. This, that, whatever. But those same people decided to go ahead and get this mark. So all I can do is shake my head at it, because unfortunately, in that type of instance, it's just a lot of people that's talking out the side of their neck. Because the crazy thing about it is, it's also people out there saying, I'm gonna put it in God's hands, but they got the shot. Huh? Wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. Because if you're gonna put it in God's hands, you're gonna let nature take its course, and whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. How can a scientist be a scientist if he's not out here actually doing the work, discovering things, trying to make things better? Like, how, in other words, I don't see, sitting back and just hoping and believing in an entity is where it's not the end all of it all. There has to be some action. That's what I think. And that's what I get from that scripture.
What scripture was that?
Faith without works is dead. I don't know if it's a scripture or not. Might be old Chinese one. I don't know. No offense to my Asian listeners. I don't know. It could be a proverb. Who knows? But I know the way I grew up, that was, one of the main things that, my grandma would say, faith without works is dead. You can have faith, but you got to be out here putting in the work, putting in the action, being that innovative person. And yeah, Mandy, the gift, some of us are blessed with that. Something, some talent, something to contribute. Okay. What are your thoughts, Jermaine?
I just posed the question. I just wanted to hear y'all thoughts.
Well, I'm gonna say this again. Everybody, all the comments that we saw from these people, a few people we've never seen before. Thank you. All I can say is thank you, because we always want that conversation where it can be dialogue back and forth in case we don't agree. But it's just nice to see people that actually get it. It really is nice to see people that get it, because there are a lot of people out here who are truly unplugged, and y'all are on the right goddamn show, for real.
Absolutely.
So
Another Way of Living said, God gave us all the tools we need. We all have the spirit of discernment, so why not use it?
Yeah, I like that. I can smoke a bag of that.
Well.
All right. Well, I mean, that's all I got. So we appreciate y'all tuning in another week. We made it another week. And we'll see y'all next Wednesday. Same time, same channel.
Yes.
See y'all next Wednesday. And don't forget, if anybody needs a documentation in case your job is mandating anything, hit me up. I will get it to you. I literally had 3 people hit me up today. So it's constant. I'm constantly sending out these messages. I will send you 3 particular documents, 3 separate documents that will help you in your fight against what's going on. So we appreciate the love. We can't, there is no us without y'all. Straight up and down. And all we ask is that if you have already subscribed, ask 10 of your friends to do the same. If you like any of the shows, share it on Facebook. Share a clip, whatever. We want as much feedback as possible. If it's something we could do, let us know. If it's something y'all want us to do, let us know. But we definitely do love and appreciate every single one of y'all. And we will see y'all next week.
Good night.
All right.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you.